coming out here today. It's not the nicest weather, but I think that clearly demonstrates the commitment of our community to these issues. My name is Alex Noel, and I'm just one of many of this event's organizers. And I'd like, thanks. Very kind. I'd just like to start off by speaking briefly about why this event is taking place today. A couple of weeks ago, we held a public meeting where over 20 trans folk from the community democratically voted in favor of having a trans march separate from the Pride Parade. And you might ask, why did we decide to do that? I think because we deserve it. It's about time to shine the light on issues that are facing trans people in Newfoundland and Labrador. I believe this march is a demonstration of what Pride could and should be. Community organizing, political action, and without asking permission.
There you go.
This march is happening at an incredibly politically crucial time. We have both a federal and a provincial election coming up. Now more than ever, trans people in this province need to be vocal. We need to hold the politicians' feet to the flames and demand that the needs of our community be met. But this is not just a campaign for an election year. What we're doing today is building a movement. I hope to see the Trans March become a staple of Pride Week for years to come, much like the Pride Parade, and much like the Pride Parade, grow in size over the years. In about 30 minutes or so, we're going to start our march. We're going to start from up here and march down Duckworth Street. But before that, we have a couple of speakers that have been invited to address the crowd. So I'm just going to, first of all, ask Jude Cutler to come up and say a few words. I don't know if it's...
Push and hold.
It's that easy. Okay, awesome. First, I would like to recognize that we are on unceded, unsurrendered Ilnu and Beothic territory. All of Turtle Island is on land that is, well, belongs to Indigenous people. We're here today to be loud, so we're going to do some chants. And we're going to be louder than hate, and louder than voices of oppression. So I'm going to start with trans rights now, and I want you to follow, okay? Trans rights now!
Trans rights now!
Trans rights now!
Trans rights now! Trans rights now! Trans rights now! Trans rights now! Trans rights now! Trans rights now! Trans rights now! Trans rights now! Trans rights now! Trans rights now!
I'm going to invite up our next speaker because honestly I don't want to take up that much space. Where's Daisy?
All right. Woo!
So I want us to all stand together and realize the importance of holding on to each other. Today we're going to be visible together. We need to know that when we're visible on our own, we're visible together in spirit. Yesterday morning, the 11th trans woman was murdered in the United States. This week alone, as we're celebrating our lives and fighting for our lives, 2 trans women have been murdered in the United States. We need to remember them and honor their lives. We need to honor what's going on here, and we need to fight for that. So the act of being visibly trans together is an important part of today, but it's something that we need to hold on to for the rest of this week and the rest of, as, I don't know. We just need to stand up, be fucking loud, and
Do you want me to go next?
Ready to speak?
Can you hold that?
I can.
Yeah.
It's okay to use them.
Hello, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me, folks? Yeah. It's okay if I use a little profanity today? Yeah.
I try not to do that too often, but I think in a situation like that, it could be warranted. So I'm fucking pissed off. I've been here for 8 years and I've been pissed off every day. We've come a long way though.
Yeah.
It's great to see so many members of the trans community here today, as well as many allies. 3 years ago, I organized a trans event during Pride, and I think there was 8 people there, and about 100 people saying this is a bad idea. We've come a long way in just 3 years. A couple days ago, a brave trans woman, Kyra Reese, and her lawyer took our provincial government to court for the rights to change your identification documents without requiring surgery. Something we had to fight for, something that several other provinces did willingly. That's just the beginning though. Only 5 out of our 10 provinces in this country have done that so far. There are still provinces here in the East Coast and out west as well that don't even have human rights legislation for trans people, gender identity and gender expression. Federally, Stephen Harper, he's the biggest enemy out there. He shut down a bill that would have given federal rights for trans people.
He sucks.
PSAC is supporting of trans rights, did I hear?
Pardon?
He sucks.
Well, he sucks. Oh, okay, even better. No trans person has ever run for federal office. No major political party has ever even run a trans candidate. Until now! There will be at least one trans candidate on the federal ballot. That includes Jennifer McCreath. If you live in St. John's, you cannot vote for me because I'm running out in Avalon. But I think it's important to see trans people on the ballot, no matter how popular or lack of popularity we may have. Ultimately, I'm running under the banner of strength and democracy. I'm not running as a trans candidate. I'm running as a human being who wants to make this province, this country, a better place. That includes inviting everybody, regardless of height, weight, size, sexual orientation, gender identity, to come to that table, have your voice heard, and have your solutions put on the table. Final quick plug. If anyone knows anyone in Grand Falls, we're having a Pride event out there on Tuesday. And finally, I brought some props for this march. If you don't have anything, I've got some plungers here, trans plungers, because we have to put up with a lot of crap still. I've got some trans flags that I'll hand out, but I will need them back because they do have to go to Grand Falls. And a special mention to that poor flag. Somebody just grab that flag there and hold it up for me. That specific flag, which has been duct taped to a bamboo pole, has been to not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 provincial capitals in this country for trans rights protests. And in that year, we've seen human rights granted in Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia. We're starting to see movement on the healthcare discussions. And that's obviously the last major, maybe not the last, but the next major fight. Newfoundland trans people are not given health care unless we travel to Toronto to a clinic called CAMH. There's no reason to be sending us there. They will not let us have surgeries in Canada. They want us to go over to Thailand or some other country where you might get shot just for being LGBT. That's not right either. Our Human Rights Commission, there's some great people there, but they don't have enough teeth in their legislation because they had to say, sorry, Jen, we can't help you with this. You're on your own. $30,000 of healthcare money, well, guess what? That's still sitting on the credit card. And I don't have a job to pay that off. So there's still lots of work to do. I guess that's enough of me. Anyone else up next?
Taylor.
Taylor. Big shout out for Taylor. Doing a great job with St. John's Pride.
Thank you, Jen and Daisy and Jude and Alex and all of the organizers at One Pride on Campus for pulling this together. I think it's a really important time for us to stand together because just this week alone, I've been called woman 5 times on media, and I'm so tired of it. And if I'm tired of it, then what does it feel like to be waiting for a surgery that you can't pay for? What does it feel like to be worried about where you're going to live or where you're going to get a job?
All of this stuff, this is the stuff that's affecting our community, and this is why a march like this, gathering here today, is important. And thank you all very much for coming out, and it's really nice to be out here with you today.
Thank you.
2 years ago in this province, we had a win. We had our Human Rights Act amended to include gender identity and expression as forms of discrimination. Last year, or this year, sorry, we had a win. We had the Vital Statistics Act amended just last week, and those are that's just the beginning. We've got a long way to go. There's lots more work to do, but I have a lot of confidence in this community, and I know when we work together, we can accomplish great things. So So I think we should all head up to the top of the park here. We're going to start our march off right there at the entrance, I guess, to Fixed. And we're going to head down Duckworth Street and loop back around to the park. So let's get going. Let's get out there and fight for our rights.
All right.